Ladies and gentlemen, it is showtime. Please enjoy the show.
It's the corner where the trees at.
Is this the passing of the torch, right? Is this what this signifies?
It comes down to that front office and what they feel is most important.
The champ is here. We touched down from a higher plane. Why you made it here?
We always look forward to that week because it was always intense.
You know that we ain't coming back. We about to.
The man, the myth, the legend, Dante Hall. My favorite player growing up was Dante Hall. I love you guys in the show, but Dante was my guy.
Get to dashing because you done on the warfare.
It's Thanksgiving week, and we've got a feast of football coming your way, with the Kansas City Chiefs taking on the Dallas Cowboys in a massive Week 13 showdown. The whole country will be watching as Mahomes and Kelsey look to carve up that Cowboys defense on Turkey Day. FanDuel has every angle covered, from Mahomes' passing props to Kareem Hunt's rushing yards to how this defense plans to slow down Dak and CeeDee Lamb. Want even more action while you're passing the mashed potatoes? Build your own same-game parlay and ride with Chiefs Kingdom all Thanksgiving, along with fast payouts and an app that's smoother than a Mahomes sidearm throw. FanDuel makes every snap feel bigger. And this week only, Chief Concerns is dropping a special Wednesday night preview show with our full betting breakdown and JD's keys to victory ahead of the Thanksgiving matchup. Download the FanDuel Sportsbook app today and make every snap count. Chiefs, Cowboys, Turkey, touchdowns, the perfect Thanksgiving combo. Attention all sports bettors. Big news, Chiefs Kingdom. Sports betting is finally going live in Missouri on December 1st. So we've partnered with bookies.com to bring you all the best sportsbook promos and sign-up offers in one place. Head over to bookies.com/chiefconcerns. The link is in the description below to check out all the offers from the top sportsbooks in your area and pre-register today. You can lock in those bonuses now, even before betting officially starts on December 1st. And happy Thanksgiving, everybody. I'm Marcus Dash. Right there is my brother Teja Dash. Former Chiefs tight end Jason Dunn should be joining us shortly. Be a quick show tonight. There's a lot to talk about this game. A lot to talk about. A lot of the things that weren't the best. But I hope everybody at least enjoyed their Thanksgiving. Teja and I actually have to go to a family dinner shortly after this tonight. But we had to stick around and do this, do the show with you guys and watch this horrible game. But Priorities, yeah. So Chiefs lose 31-28 to the Dallas Cowboys on Thanksgiving, making this, I know people want to talk about a checklist of what things we've done with the Chiefs over the years, but checklist of the Chiefs have broken our heart for the second biggest holiday of the year. So they did on Christmas Day 2 years ago. Now they broke our heart on Thanksgiving this year. So, yeah. But, I mean, we'll talk more about when JD gets on, but I do have to say, I know people want to talk officiating. I'll just say this. I got a text from former Chiefs player Tyler Thigpen today. He said, "Stop the slant." End of my rant. That's what he said. And yes, that comes back to it. McDuffie got dominated today. And I think that will show you a little bit as to why maybe people want to say do not pay him. And also, too, what is our secondary supposed to do when our defensive front cannot get a single lick of a pass rush? But sure, Lamb and Pickens were getting slants and inside position runs all day long. What are you supposed to do when you can't get a freaking pass rush? I mean, and then also, too, when you go from a lull, you score the first quarter, two scores, second and third quarter, not a freaking point. What the hell is Stevenson supposed to do? You're out there at 3-and-out every other time. What are you supposed to do? So that's kind of my initial rant. I just wanted to get out there, but I'm pretty disgusted with the product I saw today. So, Teja, quick thoughts. I know JD will be joining us shortly, but just quick thoughts.
You're going to hear a lot about officiating, but I think you can talk about officiating without blaming it on officiating. So I'm going to mention it. I'm going to talk about it. We'll talk about a lot of things. It wasn't the reason why we lost, but it certainly played into it. It was poorly played. It was poorly officiated. I mean, they beat us in a lot of categories today. The categories that we're used to winning, they beat us in. They had more first downs. They had more total yards, more yards per play, obviously, more passing yards. They're better on third and fourth, while we tied in fourth. Time of possession barely beat us just because from that last drive. Penalties, they scorched us. We had 10 for 119. They had 7 for 50. Red zone. We actually, so ironic. We finally beat a team in the red zone. We were 3 for 3 and they were 2 for 4. And, that wasn't our Achilles heel tonight. We cleaned that up and got worse at everything else. How about that?
Yeah, the penalties, and again, you're right. We can talk about penalties without blaming it on them. I'm not going to go and make an AI image of a referee with a Cowboys jersey on. I'm not going to do that. But when a receiver's initiating contact with their guy on a comeback or a hitch route, and our quarterback's on the ground each time, the fact that you come away from this game and say there's only one team that had an OPI throughout the game, only one team did. You would think the Cowboys, if you just watched the game and you didn't know who was called on what, if you just thought who had the OPI in this game, the offensive pass interference, well, it wasn't the Cowboys, it was us. We were the lone team that had an offensive PI called against us this game. Cowboys didn't have it. And they're the ones initiating contact. They're the ones shoving our cornerbacks down. We get to the nitty gritty when JD comes on as to why. But man, this is I don't understand how not one of those was called on them. And I'll say most of them probably shouldn't have been called in general. And some of them came out late too, from the refs upfield, even when the refs right there calling it, not saying anything about it. I really didn't understand that at all. I think it's wild, honestly.
It's funny. The OPI did get called on them on Ferguson for blocking when he threw the ball wasn't even the worst OPI I saw from them all night. That's the funny thing. What he did was, he was blocking, but I mean. Look, when you have, it's funny too. I almost get the sense that Romo and Nance were told not to freak out about officiating. I feel like Romo was harder on officiating last week, but this was way worse officiated game. What's his name came on, and he said multiple times they stopped bringing him on too because it's a joke at that point. When you have two guys fighting, just let them fight. I feel like DPI should be called when a receiver's trying to run a route and you're impeding him from running a route, right? But that's not what Lamb and Pickens are doing. They're not running a route. They're initiating contact. When you initiate contact, you shouldn't get the contact call. That's all. I'm not saying, it's cheap and, it's funny. I almost think I saw this on Twitter. I almost feel like this was the league trying to prove to the entire world that they don't call stuff for the Chiefs. In a way, it was like, oh, you think we rig it? Watch this. And they, I don't want to hear that anymore. People want to make fun of us for crying about refs. Who are the last franchise should be crying about refs? Okay, maybe we are, maybe we aren't. But I don't want to hear about Chiefs get gifted things all the time now. That. Let that die. That should die on the vine now.
Yeah. Yeah, you're right. It seemed like Romo was kind of hesitating on calling. I mean, he did dog the OPI they called against us. He said it was a terrible call, and and I think he said the same thing last week too. Didn't like that.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, he's quarterback. He knows what's legitimate offensive pass interference or not. Okay, well, let's get the voice of reason coming in here. So, let's see if he is the voice of reason today. JD, happy Thanksgiving, buddy. I hope you're doing well. I hope the loss didn't impact how good of a day you're having. But
I mean, shoot, it's football, brother. You know what I mean? It's disappointing to watch. That loss. We had a chance and opportunity to come back, man. We just got to make stops. So I'm here, man, with my family. We enjoying each other. We all cheering for the Chiefs, and then eating some good turkey, and I put one together. A little pat on my back. Sucker was nice, man.
There you go.
Makes it tender. But yeah, now for real, man. Happy Thanksgiving to you, brothers, as well.
You too.
Y'all enjoyed y'all day. Obviously, this was a disappointment for this loss. But I'm one of those, man. I really try not to get on the refs. But I told my brother Duke, I said, man, they're killing us down there in Dallas. They are killing us with some of these calls. And it seems so lopsided. with what we were just having. I mean, just the holding calls. Obviously, it was some that was blatant, but some of this, the pass interference and stuff, man, they just didn't call it both ways. I didn't see it that way. And it seemed like the refs was on the other side, man. They just kept being in their ear and throwing flags. And it seemed like it always came from their sideline. Never came from anywhere else. It was always from their sideline. The refs on that side. So,
it was even a couple guys, a couple officials close to the call who didn't call it. It was the backside ref who would come in and call it and was like, that guy right there to clear view, and he didn't call anything. So why do you think the backside ref can call that? I just got confused. And a lot of deliberation and talking amongst the refs. I don't think I've seen this much talking with the refs, with coaching in a long time. Just a lot of conversation.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I'm not sure, man, but it did seem like they were talking to a few calls, obviously. Of course, when they sit there and say, oh, what do you think up there in New York and all this? And, you hear things that I'll give you one case in point. The offensive pass interference on Xavier Worthy. That's one of the most ridiculous calls I've seen. He took his defensive player, and he can't control him. He can't control the defensive player where he goes. And he didn't run the pick. It was the defensive player that ran the pick on his guy.
Mm-hmm.
And they called it offensive pass interference like it's a pick play. Like that's.
And Scarator's logic for that was ridiculous, by the way.
Huh?
Scarator's logic for that was ridiculous. Like, even though he didn't come in contact with the player, I still see why it was called. Like, wait, what? That's like saying like a guy shooting a three-pointer, like if his own, if you don't touch the guy, it's not a freaking foul. What do you mean? Like that's it. There's no other like, I guess I see why. This isn't logic class. This is a football game.
And it was like almost an anticipatory call because it was like, were you anticipating that Worthy was going to be the guy that actually physically did the pick, and it wasn't. It was the defender that did that. And so sit there, like you said, trying to logically reason something like that, man, was just, it fell on his face. I'm like, what do you mean?
Yeah, you shouldn't have to do that on a call.
No.
It's there or it isn't.
Listen, and that's up there in New York caping for their guys on a call like that.
Oh, 100%.
That's exactly what that was. And I just, as far as that with the refs, I think it was just a bad game called. There was a couple of times he was like, hey, man, let the guys play. And they should have. They should have let the guys.
Yeah, he even said that at one point. He was still capping, but at the same time, he was like, when two guys are fighting, I tend to just let them play.
Yeah. Yes. Definitely. Now, let's talk the realness, okay? Let's talk the realness here.
Okay.
There was times that the offensive line gave Pat some time, and I don't know if guys just wasn't getting open, but there was times he held the ball in his hand too much, and he got sacks, he got ran around, and it's not like just do your outlet to the running back or just get the 5 yards. We had to get the deep pass. Like, we're just trying to move the chains. Like, that's part of what we're trying to do, because what it ultimately does is it puts us at a worse predicament than it was before he was running around. And so when we start doing that, that's where we really shoot ourselves in the foot. And it was I can't quite understand what was being called. And when I watch the film, but I need to see what it is, what routes guys are not getting open on. There was a couple of times guys are open and Pat just missed them. I mean, seriously, it was the one that he threw to, I think it was Rice in the end zone, and Travis Kelce ran right open. There was a couple of times I've seen that. The Pat he didn't go through his progression. That could have been obviously because of some of the pressure he was getting, not having his guys. You've seen his guys off his line just go down, seeing some of their pressure. But I think some of the decisions he was making, man, was just ill-advised. Now, defensively, and I've said this. Yeah, I've said it all year pretty much. But we have a very young secondary. Sometimes we lack positioning and communication. And And guess they exploited that. They went after Jamari Commerce, went over top. Jaden Hicks is supposed to be the deep safety on that one, left Connors over on by himself. But I was saying to our guys out there that CeeDee Lamb and George Pickens was running a master class slant clinic on our guys. And a lot of that where you could let guys fight. Some of those are ticky-tack. You don't really call all of those, but they were. They was calling a lot of those. And so what do? You make a guy less aggressive. That's what you're basically doing. You're backing up your corner now. He can't be as aggressive as you want to be because he knows you're going to call those ticky-tack calls. So that affects us. That does affect us. But we, man, I mean,
yeah, but a lack of pass rush, I will say, just in defense of the secondary.
Yes,
that puts a lot of pressure on a young secondary when you have to blitz and leave guys on an island for like 80% of the friggin' game. That's not fair, right?
That's exactly where I was going next, Tej. Is I know we didn't address this, and we should have. We just never did. Sometimes the blitzes just didn't look clean, didn't hit home. But even when we did, and the blitzes were kind of getting back to backpedal and throw the football, guys weren't even in position. Like somebody's supposed to be there to pick up that guy. Somebody's supposed to be in that area, and we weren't recognizing it fast enough. And that's all I was talking about. Like guys getting turned around in that young secondary. That's just some of the inexperience and the guys that I spoke about. But I mean, Jalen Watson, Trent McDuffie. They said what we're going to do. We're going to go at them. We're just going to go at your corners, and we'll figure it out. They knew the weakness of some of our corners because they know they are young and inexperienced, and some of them get lack of communication and get lost in those things. And you've seen it tonight. You did. You've seen it tonight. But yes, it's the lack of pass rush, not getting there on Dak, that causes havoc. Chris can't be the only one to get back there, man. He can't. Dak's got to be able to fill that fire without having the blitz come down on him. And he didn't. He stood in there with poise. Javonte Williams didn't really do anything against us. We let that one little sucker squirt up the middle. You know, we're supposed to make that tackle too. But we just, just times where we should have been clicking to get over the hump. And we looked good. The first quarter, we went up, it was like 14. I'm like, man, this is what the game's going to be. They're going to have to stop us. And then all of a sudden, it happened. And all of a sudden, it was more penalties on our side. And we just penalty after penalty, putting us in position, kicking it out field goal range. And that was hurting us. And so I went out, man, I was cooking the turkey. I came back in. I'm like, man, what happened? What's going on? Like, how did it all turn around? I had to go back at halftime and start looking at some of the game because I was confused what transpired in that time. So, but we have to, if it all, when it all fails, you know who's going to be open? Who's going to make a play? 8-7's going to do it. Dallas played a good game. I ain't gonna, they did.
They did play a good game.
Yeah. So
they exposed a lot of our issues.
Yes, they did.
It's what they call a bad matchup for us. It's a bad matchup. Yeah, they have a pretty good O-line. They have the two best duo in the league, probably, if not like top three. And we just couldn't adjust to some of those things. It's painful. I don't want to get to like off-season talk about what we should do with certain players, but I mean, we're gonna look back at this game in a couple months from now, going, I don't know if we should pay so and so. I don't know what the answer is on some of these things. I mean, it was a bad game for McDuffie, but at the same time, I think he also got screwed on a few calls, and that probably gets into his head too, right? When he's playing, he's like, man, if I do this, I'm gonna get called for it. Like, this is how I always play. He's pushing me. If he's going to extend his arm and push me, then I'm going to grab the arm he's extending with and use that as leverage to get back to the ball. Like, I mean, I saw like 2 plays where he was called for pass interference where he was on the ground. I've never seen guys on the ground get called for like DPI. It just gets
multiple
crazy.
times too.
Yeah, it's crazy. I mean, like we got called for 2 on their touchdown drive for them to go up with 21-28, and we got 2 on the last drive. It's just like it reminded me, I don't know if you guys remember. Do you remember the Bengals game from like several years ago where like we had them beat like in the red zone, the 5-yard line? They just kept calling penalties and Chase was initiating and Chase was pushing off, and then our guy would like get up in them and then they would call foul. It was just you couldn't win the game. Like it just wouldn't happen. There was a glitch. Like that just wouldn't happen. So I remember Gallagher asked before the game who's the most pressure on, and I said secondary because we don't have a pass rush. And unfortunately, it came true. So that has to change. And our O-line's in shambles. It's pretty rough. It's pretty rough. And just to go back to your Mahomes point, he missed a lot of throws. He held the ball too much. He's probably had worse games than this, but I don't know if I've yelled at him on my TV screen as much as I yelled at him today. I yelled at him a lot through my TV screen. I was very frustrated with his play today. So yeah. Anyway,
and with the not having the pass rush, and like that's why like the margin of error is so slim with a team that has no pass rush. And when you do score 14 points in the first quarter, and then you have an offensive lull that takes from the second quarter, the third quarter, defense is coming out there, and like this is already a team that's already it's already kind of getting abused through the air by having these Pickens and Lamb kind of dominate our secondary. But then on top of that, you can't get back there and get to the quarterback, so he's got all day back there. And you're putting these guys out there over and over again. It's like I thought we kind of solved this offensive lull issue last week with the implementation of the running game again. And Kareem Hunt finishes the game with 14 carries, and we barely went under center. I don't even know if we did go under center today. I maybe remember once today, but like we just went away from what seemingly worked last week. And even a lot of people were scared of Kareem. Oh, he just had 30 carries last week. He's not going to be ready for this game. He's going to be tired. No, he was cooking in the first half of that game. I think he had 30 yards in the first quarter of that game, and 14 for 58. But like you're putting the defense out there all game long without this pass rush and having to guard 9 routes all game from their receivers. And then at the end of the game comes and like when you have, so I'm talking about the small margin of error. At the end of the game, you have Mike Edwards almost get a pick. At least tips the ball up in the air. And then the very next play, Pickett fumbles the ball, and like we're not there. We have 3 guys around the ball, but not there to get that turnover. It's like those are the opportunities that were there, and it's just those are the kind of things we need to seize on when we are lacking in a pass rush department. Because without 9-5, there's no hope of anyone getting back there. And Karlaftis has been the pressure. I call him the pressure merchant or the pressure king since his rookie season. But like you can't finish. You can't get a sack. And even though the two-point conversion, he had Dak by his jersey, but somehow let go and didn't get him down. It's just always so close to Karlaftis. That's just been the story for the last 4 years, and I think he's just going to be the pressure guy. I think that's what he's going to be. So yeah, it's tough. The margin of error is so slim when you don't have the pass rush.
Yeah, it definitely affects everything around you. Especially when you talk about the timing that you had to hold guys up. 2 incredible receivers. I mean, we know what the Lamb and Pickens are. They're very good receivers in this league. But we got a good pair of receivers. We got a good group of guys. Why is it at times we weren't necessarily getting open? Rice had that one crucial drop toward the middle that Pat threw him, and so. You always look at plays that should have been made, but it did seem to me that I'm like you, Tej. I'm like, throw it, Pat. Come on. Like, throw it. Just turn it loose.
Yeah, there were a lot of, what are you doing for me?
Yeah. Do the check down. You know what I'm saying?
What are you doing, man? Yeah. The ball. Yeah. Get rid of it then.
And I know sometimes.
Yeah, go ahead.
Well, I was going to say sometimes you're trying to get chunks back, right? When you have a penalty, it's like, okay, 1st and 20, let's try to get chunks. Sometimes like, man, just get 5, 6, let it add up, something that was a little bit more manageable as opposed to taking off running. But then all of a sudden, Pat puts his cape on and he makes some incredible plays, right? I mean, that's who Pat is. So he does a great job of doing that. But sometimes it just seems like he just had the ball in his hand too much. Where it's like you sitting back here as opposed to taking off and running, where you're sitting there waiting. The rush is coming. The lineman can't hold up for that long. They just can't. And I know it's frustrating for them because they sitting over there, they got a clock in their head as well. Like, daggone, what's going on? It's just how it happens. You know, when I'm sitting back there, I know in my mind, I got to hold this defensive end who's rushing a quarterback. I got to hold him for at least 5 to 6 seconds. And it's a long cat in my head. 1,001, 1,002, 1,003, 1,004, 1,005. That's a long time. You're thinking the ball's out of your hand by that time. It is. And so when you start seeing these cover sacks, or he's dancing around, in the back, in the backfield, you're like, daggone, like, what do you want me to do, right? So it's just disappointing, man. Because I think the way we started, we should have finished it. Because I think we had their number and it looked good. Like there's nothing they could do to stop it, and all of a sudden there's a halt. Doesn't seem the same. And like you said, same thing. Kareem, I see that joker ran over 3 guys in one. I was like, that's 3 guys he ran over.
Yeah.
I mean, he's a tank. Then some short yardage. Obviously, some guys are missing the blocks. I went back and started looking at that. I'm like, oh man, come on, here we go.
We're playing with 3 backup linemen.
Well, not at that point we weren't yet. No, before that we were kind of getting dominated.
At that point, 2 backup linemen or 1?
2, yeah.
But one of those missed blocks wasn't a backup.
Yeah.
So,
yeah. I also need to see more from Worthy down the stretch.
Yeah, that was a big thing, JD. The one right before halftime where we get the free play, Mahomes just chucks it up there. Bland's barely even playing the ball. Worthy just like looks it in like, dude, like jump up for it. It's a sky ball. Just jump up for it. What are you doing, dude?
Attack it. Attack the ball. Don't wait. It looked like a fair catch. I've seen guys fair catch balls more aggressively than that.
It was too laissez-faire on that whole thing. The whole thing was too laissez-faire.
Yeah, I wondered about that too, because it seemed like he almost stopped. And I'm just like, what are you doing? Like, is it a penalty? Or did you lose it in the lights? Because that was the issue. Both teams were that they had to do something, man. Having that sun come through. I played in stadiums like that. That is tough. That is tough to catch the football on the flight, because it's the same like baseball. When you go up, you either got to put a hand up to try to block it a little bit to get the flight of the ball. But I don't know if he just, I don't know. It did seem like you said, hey, laissez-faire. Oh, okay. Oh, it's like high pointed. You didn't want high pointed. So
yeah, he was catching in his pocket.
Yeah.
And this is something we've made note about the last few games, but so we get the ball coming out of the second half. 4 straight games of going 3 and out. I know today was a little different. We had the first down, but they called the offensive PI on Worthy, so we end up having to redo the play. We don't get it. But 4 straight games coming out of halftime with a 3 and out. And this specifically was different because Rashard Smith actually gave some juice on the kick return. That was a great field position he got us into. And then we respond with that great field position provided by Rashard Smith on a special teams that doesn't get big-time returns ever, but we finally got one of those. And what do we do with that field position? We go 3 and out and punt the ball. JD, what I know people want to place blame on it's Nagy's fault, it's Andy Reid's fault. Halftime adjustments. What are you seeing that we're lacking? The fact that we're coming out 4 straight games and not doing anything with the ball on that first possession after halftime.
I don't know, man. It's one or two things. It's either when you come out, you're not starting off with some juice, because sometimes it's the thing. It is. You sit in the locker room and you come out, you got to get going. You got to warm your legs up, and you just got to get you back in the game. It's that halftime set where you take your little time to try to get all the adjustments. You got to come back out, man. You just got to. It's a mentality. It really is. It's just not the players; it's the coaches as well. So if they're not giving you something that you can be successful with, then it's tough. It's hard, because it's like, man, what play is it? What is this? Like, what are we running? And it's like, is this what the adjustment is? But like you said, the one on Worthy making that call, I thought it was good. I think it was a good call, but it takes you away from it, and that's like that down of that momentum coming out at the half, man. We don't do a very good job of that, and sometimes I think it's something you had to work on in practice. Like coming out at the half, what are we starting with? do we try to go straight for the jugular, or are we just systematically saying, let's move the chains from here and set the tone now, right? By doing things a little bit different, putting guys in better positions. But I agree with you, Marcus. It is underwhelming to watch when we come out at the half what we do.
It's almost like we put so much effort into scheming the first half during the week, and we like need that lead after scheming up that game plan, and we don't have a lot of bullets left other than like winging it and adjusting on the fly and like hoping we can just score a couple times to keep the game where it is. But the problem with that is many problems with that. But one huge problem is if for whatever reason you're scoring field goals instead of touchdowns, which has bit us a lot this year, or if anything bad happens on one of those drives, you're screwed. Like that great game plan you had, it gave us 3 instead of 7, and that's why we lost last week. Or that's why, that's why we've lost certain weeks in the past and not put up the points that we should have been like last week. So it's,
Well, and I also think it's weird about it is too. It's like outside the Colts game, because I think the Colts took the ball. They wanted the ball first. But most of the other game, we're a defer to second half kind of team. And like you would think a team that defers the second half would be like, okay, well, we want to get the ball coming out of second half because we're going to have better in-game adjustments than you. So we'll have the ball coming out of the second half. And it's like, well, it seems like we're not prepared for it. That's the part that's weird. It's like, one thing, we were a team that likes to get the ball first. No, we actually like to be the team coming out of the second half with the ball. And it's like, that's what you choose to do with it. I mean, it's four straight games of 3 and outs. Just wild.
It's, what is disappointing because you couldn't get no points before the half. And you was in a position, and then you get a holding call on and Josh that puts you out of, field goal position. If you're able to get points, for the half, you go in with a clear mind, like, yeah, okay, here we go. Now we're going to double dip when we come back out, do it again and score. So it really kind of, it changes, maybe some of your thinking as well, what you're going to do. I just know this as far as, being a coach, when you get into it, you start talking about some of the things like, okay, second half adjustments, what are we looking at? What were they running more so in the first half? What do you think we're going to get the second half? A little bit of this, how were they responding, or, how would they line up against such and such? And so everybody gives you all the information at the half. So once you go through and you decide, okay, our scheme coming into this half, what do we have to do better? And it just seems to me like we don't have an answer. And Teja, if they're doing that, which I kind of find it hard to believe that, like you're just flailing, like, I hope we get two touchdowns. We're in a bad way then. If we're thinking that, we're in a bad way. If we're sitting there saying, man, we got to get 2 touchdowns and then we'll figure it out. That's a bad deal. But I don't think that's where we are, man. I don't know. It's a head scratcher for me.
Looking at, as Teja mentioned, the injuries on the offensive line. So at one point in the game, Josh Simmons hurts his wrist on that big play that we end up scoring at the end of the third quarter, going into the fourth quarter. That big play that Rice gets us down to their territory. Apparently, Kareem Hunt chipped a defender, and while he chipped that defender, Josh Simmons' hand was engaged with that defender, and that was where the left wrist injury comes from for Josh Simmons. He ended up going off the field. And they were ruled questionable, and then shortly thereafter was ruled out for the game. So that's where the Josh Simmons injury is. Juwan Taylor came into the game with an elbow injury, ends up hurting it early on in that game. Jalen Moore goes to right tackle. Obviously, Caliendo was started for over Trey Smith. But then Wanya Morris comes in for the left tackle spot. JD, obviously we know that Wanya Morris was a right tackle pretty much coming out of college. That was like his bread and butter. Why don't you think they moved Jalen Moore to left tackle once Josh Simmons was done for the game? Was it just because he already started out that game at right tackle? I was like, no need to change at this point. And how did you think Wanya looked there at left tackle? Because I saw a few times he got kind of bulldozed.
I knew he was going to say it. You just put me out there. What do you think? You just got bulldozed. Right.
Well, because as a fan who watches this, right, I see those are things I see, right? But you're looking at technique, you're looking at other things. You're not just seeing the plays where he does get like blown up. But what did you see from him outside of obviously a few of the plays I just mentioned?
That was it. I mean,
any predictions for the fight? Pain.
Yeah. Prediction? Pain. No, man. That's
that sums it up.
What I saw, man. I just, I don't know why they didn't put Jalen Moore out there. That didn't make any sense for me. I mean, that's his position. He plays them both, and so I would have assumed he would have been the next guy up, but apparently he wasn't. So I don't know if something was going on with him too. We don't know. We just don't know, brother.
Well, Simmons in a cast and a sling, so you're going to see a lot more pain soon.
No, I think at full game, I think they would move Jalen Moore to left tackle.
That's true. Well, I mean, he'll be a right tackle then if Taylor's not back.
I think I trust Wanya at right tackle more than I trust him at left tackle. That was it. He had to learn left tackle because he was a right tackle primarily coming out of college. Again, he was a third round pick. I mean, I'm not trying to say Wanya's going to all of a sudden be an all pro guy, but he was an early round pick at that right tackle spot. We just chose to make him a left tackle.
Just don't get bulldozed. How about that? That's my ceiling for what I want out of him. Just don't get bulldozed.
And that's the scary thing to me. We do play Houston Tech, and I know our remaining schedule. I know everyone's been talking about, are we going to make the playoffs? I believe we have a 47% chance to make the playoffs right now. And we talked about needing to win out. We had 7 games last week, and we can say we had a 1-game buffer. So 7 games going into last week. We're now 1-1, so that 1-game buffer is gone now. So now we have to win out. And first slate is Houston Texans. Houston Texans may not have the offense that the Dallas Cowboys have, but they surely have a defensive front that the Dallas Cowboys do not have. And these guys are dudes, Danielle Hunter and Will Anderson, and going against a banged-up offensive line. That is what scares me going into next week, JD. What are your thoughts?
All I can say is we have the team and the capability to win out. We do. I don't doubt these guys. When I see a game like this, another one of these games that we should have won, but obviously in different areas we got handled. This team, the Chiefs team, is definitely good enough to win out for sure. Obviously, you need other teams to lose and win. I mean, you start looking at different scenarios, but we definitely have a good enough team to do it. Now, what does that mean going forward as far as with the offensive line where it is and guys being hurt? Well, you can still run the football, still throw some ball, get balls out of your hands pretty quick, do your check downs, do some play action, things that will work, that will help at least negate some of that pass rush. Run straight at those guys is what you do. But one thing you can't do, Marcus, is some of the stuff that we did today is hold the ball for a long time in your hand. If we do that, we play right into what they do well. And so that can't be part of what we do, our game plan. We got to make quick decisions, man. We got to make sure, we're moving in and out of huddle fast, okay? Got to get other guys involved. Shoot, is this something David Pierce comes in? Is he trying to show the people like, hey, man, y'all got rid of me type of Pierce game? Might have a little bit in it for something like that.
It is a revenge game.
Yeah. But as much as we are, like I seen somebody out here, man, our team doesn't suck. We don't suck. We lost 1-score games. That's what we are. The difference is we just won them last year. We're not this year. What, 1-6, I think they said?
Yeah, 1-6 in the 1-score games, yep.
So that's there it is. We don't suck. We're not a bad team. We know we're mistake-ridden. Obviously now we are injury-ridden. But, hey, man, shoot, I don't know what else to say other than these guys just got to do it, man. They just got to handle business. And so I trust Pat and those guys to try to figure it out. I ain't got no other choice but to, man. I'm just like everybody else. I'm just going to sit back and watch how this thing unfold. But one thing I'm not going to do is I'm not going to doubt and call these guys that they suck. Things that we had to do to get better, man. We got to figure out how we get better at that. Those, you know what I'm saying? So,
we're a fringe playoff team. That's what we are.
Yeah,
it's what we are. That's what our record says we are. It's both. We're playing that way. We are that way. I don't think we're an elite team. I think it's a weird year in the NFL period. I don't think. Thing is, I don't think you have to be an elite team to be one of the best teams in the AFC this season. That's the crazy thing about it. We just beat one of the elite teams in the AFC apparently last week, and we didn't even play a good game. We played our normal fringe playoff give it away games, and we still won. So that just shows you how kind of open it is, which is unfortunate because if we were, minding our P's and Q's like we normally do, we'd be dominating. And I'd say it's a cakewalk to the Super Bowl. So it really sucks. It's a wasted opportunity for this team to not be on top of it this year.
And I disagree with Amda Brown. Amda Brown, I love you, my brother, but I don't think we are average. I think we're better than average. At times we don't come to the challenge when we need to make the plays. The penalties, and it has been a lot of penalties this year have taken us out of positions to score points, to move the chains. Those things do hurt, man. They do matter. Are we an undisciplined football team? I don't know. Are we unfortunate? Sure. I think it's part of it. But, when I'm sitting over here and I'm looking at, like you said, Tej, we go beat the Colts, right? Other teams, you could definitely say we probably should have won those other games. It was kind of funny to me because I'm listening to them talk to Dak and CD Lamb and those guys, and all y'all coming along. I'm like, these suckers are 6-5-1. I'm like, yeah, you beat 2 Super Bowl teams. Hey, man, y'all 6-5-1. Okay, well, we glad he hadn't slapping on everybody on the back. Everybody's struggling. You were 2 struggling teams. 2 struggling teams. So
2 desperate teams.
Yes.
What? And their margin of error was slimmer because their game today was our game next week. Because they lost this game, they were pretty much mathematically like their percentage of getting the playoffs was next to none. That was what our game will be next week. So there was, not saying that it wasn't a must win for us, but I'm saying it was either done or planning trips to Dominican Republic time. Cancun, yeah.
Whatever.
Goat combos now over. If you missed who?
We're getting Patriots fans, we're getting Broncos fans, we're getting Cowboys fans.
Whoever this is,
that's your troll job. You think I give a shit right now about whether we have a GOAT conversation or not? Playoffs. I'm just trying to win another game. That's how I feel. I mean, you talk about GOAT talk. I'm very far away from caring about GOAT talk right now.
Yeah, but I had no idea that Tom Brady came in and went to the AFC championships every single year he was in.
Yeah, that's what happens, man. You miss one, and all of a sudden it's an avalanche.
Yeah,
I mean, you gotta know that. It's expected for people to do that.
They're gonna say he's worse than Phillip Rivers. They're gonna like Phillip Rivers is a better quarterback. I mean, this is where it goes, man. So it's silly. It's silly. Look, man. The reality is this. As painful it is to watch these guys go through this, and it is painful to watch this happen to them. I still got confidence until it's over. I do. And that's how you have to be. As a football player, that's how we think. That we don't think anything else other than that. Until they tell you it's over, you don't, everything else is not an option. You don't shoot until they say, hey man, you're not gonna make the playoffs. Then that's the reality. But it's not there right now. And so what you're sitting there thinking right now is, shoot, we let one go. We pissed off at that. Where do we go wrong? How do we let this one go? Like we said, we just got finished beating I would say one of the top AFC teams in the business, if not one of the best teams in the National Football League, to be honest with you. And we let this one go down in Dallas. So, could have went either way. Could have went either way, man. So
So I know Teja and I we got to run here. We had dinner to catch. But I do want to make last question here. I'm seeing everyone saying is it over? They want to know what you think. Is it over? I know you just pretty much said that. But JD, the 5 games left. The 3 of the harder games that we have left are at home. So Texans is at home, Chargers at home, Broncos at home, and then the 2 games that are away is Titans and Raiders. Titans and Raiders, let's just say that those are wins. The other 3, what do you think is going to be the toughest game? And obviously, I if I hear you correctly, you think we're going to go 5-0 down the stretch here.
I do. I do. I do believe we will go 5-0. All of them is going to still be tough games. But I like our odds. I like the guys that we got in the room. My money's still on the Chiefs, to win out. So, like I said, as a former player, the way we think, and I know how these guys are thinking as well too, is you got to go over the next game. That's what you got to deal with. Deal with that one. You're coming home, which bodes well for you, right? You're on your own backyard. And so the fans and everybody will keep you juiced up where you need to be, which I would say maybe the tougher opponent would be maybe Denver. But, hey, man, I don't give them suckers nothing either, to be honest with you. Should have beat them suckers up there too. So what was that? He said, you want to crown the guys? Crown them. Go ahead and crown them. We'll do that.
Denny Green.
Denny Green. You want to crown them? Crown them. Shoot, man. Nobody worried about that, man. All we worry about now is just getting into the playoffs. That's it. And then after that, man, new season starts at that point, okay? New season starts at that moment.
Week to week.
That's it. Period. And then we will be the most dangerous 11-6 team in there. Nobody wants to see us. Believe that.
No.
Yeah.
Teja, are you as hopeful as JD is on these last 5 games?
To go 5-0?
Yeah.
Hopeful, yes. I'm a little more pessimistic about it. We got some serious, because this isn't just about our play anymore. We got some serious injuries now. And Houston might be possibly the worst team to face with the kind of injuries we have. I mean, you couldn't pick out. They make teams with healthy O-lines look like they're injured O-lines, okay? We have an injured O-line, and they're about to come to town. So you better get those 3-step drops. No more holding that ball, Patty. You better get rid of that thing quick.
That's what we got to do.
We better get that lead and sit on it.
Balanced approach next week.
Yeah.
Yeah, man. We got to get the young secondary, man. We got to get them right.
Gotta get them help. So we need to get.
Yeah.
That'll be a conversation for the offseason. And hopefully the offseason conversations are a long time away from now.
I'm hoping.
Well,
So they're going to be plentiful. I'll tell you that much. A lot to talk about.
But Mike Edwards, I think Mike Edwards, I don't know what Cook's situation is, but I think Mike Edwards deserves to be in that lineup going forward. He's be on the roster going forward. So,
I mean, I trust him, man. So these guys, man, like I said, these guys have been forged in the fire. It's not like they're new, to something like this. If it was a team that doesn't have this type of experience, sure, I would be worried. But we're talking about we got some of the best players on the planet. Let's just be realistic here. And they can rally all the guys together to get that done. So everybody else can go ahead, jump ship. Go ahead. Guys, they mid, they average, whatever. Jump ship. Fine. Okay? Go ahead and do it. My thing is, these guys, right, that's in the locker room, they're not jumping ship on each other. They're not. They could care less what we have to say. Trust that. So, we could keep screaming in the void and get out here. And if I saw a little therapy session that, curse and all these different things, oh, well, then that's what it is. But them guys right there, man, that put on the jersey, they strap up for the games, that's going out there putting their life on the line, them guys right there, man, they rely on each other. Okay? My money's still on them. So.
Yeah. We all have our teams back regardless. Always. Let me read some of the super chats before we get out of here and let you all enjoy the rest of your Thanksgiving evening. Appreciate all the super chats, of course. BG Green 199. How does Marcus look 20 but has gray hair? Turning 32 in a few weeks, buddy. But yeah, I was born with 2 gray spots. But yeah, I appreciate the comment, but Baca 1105. I don't complain about the officials, but this was an abomination from the refs. Complete joke. Appreciate you, Baca.
Thanks, Bach. Appreciate you.
Jacob Donabauer. I've been saying in due years now, penalties need to be reviewed by someone not on the field. When you have rules analysts come on live TV and disagree with the call, it shows the NFL has the capability to hold these refs accountable. Agreed?
Well, there's a grading system for every game. That's how it works, Jacob. So these guys will still get docked, when they go over the film, when they send it up in New York, and it will cost them. It will. They get it wrong. So.
Maria RN. Hi, happy Thanksgiving, Marcus, Jason, and Teja. I'm thankful for Chiefs concerns. Oh, that means a lot, especially after a game like that. That means the world to us.
Yes, absolutely.
Thankful and grateful.
Always.
Be blessed. Thank you so much.
And final one, KC Dog 9779. Respectfully, fellas, I agree with the previous comment. We are average this year. Nothing wrong with that, though. We are a dominant franchise right now. KC hasn't seen average execution as of late. We are still on a historical run. I agree. We're still on a historical run. If we don't make the playoffs this year, that doesn't mean the dynasty's over. That just means it's a reset, and we'll figure things out in the offseason. But right now, we're still in the hunt.
Still in the hunt, brother.
You can make an argument that missing the playoffs might be really good for our future. It might force the team to make some serious changes.
And we'll definitely have that conversation if that time comes. That'll definitely be a topic on the
show. Yeah. We'll have a good time spinning it if we get booted from the playoffs. Yes, we will.
Appreciate that, Casey. 9779. So,
and we appreciate everybody coming in here. We had about 1,000-something people come in here tonight during this Thanksgiving show, which is wild that Thanksgiving that you guys still chose to spend some of your time with us. We love you all, and we will see you guys Monday. So everybody enjoys your Thanksgiving weekend, and we'll be back here Monday where JD has to go back and give the grades for these position groups, which might not be pretty, but we have to do it. It's necessary. So we love you all.
Yes, sir. Listen, y'all have a wonderful Thanksgiving, the rest of the holiday. Brothers, love you. Hey, everybody out here, listen, Chiefs fan or not, y'all wanted to come and see the Chiefs play. You know why? Because we're the most exciting team out here on the planet, and y'all know it. Okay? So y'all take that with you. Love you, baby. See y'all later, ladies and gents. Take care. Love each other. You're supposed to. God bless to each and every one of y'all. Y'all be good. All right?
Love y'all.
Love y'all.
Happy Thanksgiving, fellas. Love you guys.
Happy Thanksgiving. Love you later on.
Hi, everybody. Thanks for watching. Subscribe here to get the latest from the show. Also, be sure to check out the best clips from Chief Concerns. And if you prefer to listen to the show, subscribe and follow us on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, and anywhere else you get your podcasts.